The brooding stage is the most critical time in the life of chickens, and this is why you must take maximum care of them at this stage. If not, you will end up having a lot of mortalities. So these are some of the chicks we brought in recently, about 50 of them. So they are currently in the brooding house. Now there are certain things that we do to ensure that we don't have mortalities. So far, we've not recorded any mortality, and here today they are at their day 5, and there is no mortality yet. So what are the things that we did? First of all, we prepared the brooding area. So this is one of our rooms on the farm, and we used to here is a brooding room. We just made this room into a brooding house. So the first thing we did is we disinfected it, washed it, made sure it was clean. Then we poured our dry litter. On the floor of this room, there are dry litter. We used sawdust before we then covered it up with these chicken feed bags. These things you are seeing on the floor, this yellow stuff, are all chicken feed bags. Now, the reason why we use chicken feed bags to cover up the sawdust is to make sure that the chicks don't end up eating the sawdust, because at this stage of their life, they cannot differentiate between sawdust and actual feed. So this is why we used the chicken feed bags on the floor. Now, the next thing we did was to ensure that we had proper temperature in their brooding house. Now, how did we achieve this? We achieved this by using a heating lamp. Our heating lamp is what we used. Now, what we used is the charcoal lamp. The charcoal lamp is our source of heat, and also the electric bulb, the yellow bulb that is found in our homes. We use this to make sure that our chicks have a warm temperature, because you have to keep them warm. Because the reason why you must do this is to give them that feeling of being under their mothers, in their mother's nest, something like that, to make sure that they are warm and they are not, exposed to cold. Because if they are exposed to cold, they will end up dying. Now, you must also ensure that there is enough ventilation coming into their brooding house. In as much as you must close up everywhere, but you must also allow little spaces to allow for fresh air to be coming in. So as you can see, this is our window. So every now and then we open it so that fresh air can come in, before we then close it back, so as to ensure that there is not enough cold going into their brooding room. Now, the next one is to provide adequate lighting. As you can see, these chicks at this stage, they struggle with identifying objects, including their feed. So you must make sure that there is light around them so that they can always eat, especially in the night when they cannot see. So there should be light always in the night to ensure that they are always feeding. Because if you don't give them the opportunity to feed at night, they might not grow very well. So for them to feed at night, there must always be light. Now, you must make sure that there is feed and water at all times, because at this stage, they need all the feed they can get. They need all the water they can get. So this is what you must ensure. Water and feed should always be available. If not, they might end up not growing, or they might even start dying off, especially when the feed is not having up to 20 to 22% crude protein. Just buy for them, just get your broiler super starter. This should be the first feed they eat in that first week. Now, of course, you must follow up on your vaccinations, Newcastle, Gumboro, and you must give these medications and vaccines at the appropriate time. When you are going to buy your chicks, you must request for a timetable on their vaccination and on their medication, to ensure that you do the proper things and you don't end up losing your chickens. Then, of course, you must monitor. Every now and then, you should always be going into their room, into the brooding house, checking if the place is too cold, if the place is too hot, because this is the only way you can ensure that they have adequate temperature without actually being overheated or being exposed to too much cold. Then, of course, as they keep growing, you must try to prevent overcrowding. And when they are about 2 weeks old, it should then transfer them to their permanent pens where they will stay and grow till they reach maturity, and of course till they reach market weight. So these are basically the things we do to make sure that we don't lose any of our chicks in that breeding stage, which lasts for 2 to 3 weeks. But most times it lasts for 2 weeks. Then we transfer them to the pen where they'll be fattened till they are mature.